a time when I envisioned the perfect cupcakes for my party, but I couldn't find anything remotely close to what I was seeing. Do you ever have that problem? Cupcakes are sad without cute little cupcake toppers. Here's one. I apologize in advance if you catch glitter on my face. It's Mother's Day and one of my children made me a card. There's glitter everywhere. Today, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We are going to get technical. When I'm making cupcake toppers, templates for my cookies, party banners, other little things, I use a free program called Inkscape. It is a vector graphics editor, and if you're a Cricut crafter,
I would die without my Cricut.
You can use it to make SVGs, and that's what we're going to do today. We'll be making these super cute little Popsicle cupcake toppers. I had this idea stuck in my head for a real long time, and I'm going to make it for you today. We're using 4 different types of paper, a little bit of glue, and either scissors or your cutting machine, and a toothpick, and a cupcake, or whatever you're going to put it in. Let me show you how I make this little cutie. So here I am in Inkscape. I will link to this in the description box. I am going to use this little tool right here. This allows you to draw lines and curves, and this is pretty much the only tool that I am going to use. I start by outlining my basic shape with the tool. I'm not creating any sort of curves yet or any detail, just the basic shape. When I finish my outline, I'm going to click on this tool up here at the top, and with that you can drag your lines out to create curves. And if you just click on the line, you'll see the little squares that pop up at all of your corners, and that will bring up little handles that you can use to further refine your curves. Right now I'm just curving this top section to make the top of my popsicle. I'm going to actually fill this right now with a color so we can see it a little bit easier. Let's make it orange. I like to keep all of my shapes organized, so I always put them in different layers, and that helps me make sure that I don't mess up any of the layers that I have the way that I want them. So for this next part, I'm going to duplicate this shape that I just made. So I click on it and then select duplicate, and then you can pull that duplicate shape off. I'm going to change the color of it just so we can see that they're different. Let's make it pink. And then you just right click on that and click move to layer, and you can add it to this specific layer for that piece. This shape is going to be windowed so that we can see the orange through it. I don't want to redo the shape, so I'm going to duplicate it and then use that as my pieces that I'm going to cut out. So I'm going to go ahead and color this black so we see where exactly our shape is going to be cut, and I'm going to just resize this to fit inside of my pink shape to make those little windows. Now that I have the shape that I want, I'm just going to duplicate this to make the second little indentation window. From here, I am going to select one of these black pieces at a time along with the popsicle itself. And under the path drop down, you select difference, and that will cut the black shape out of the pink one. Now that that piece is all cut out, you can drag it on top of your orange layer to make sure that it all got cut out correctly. So I'm going to create another layer for the topping of my popsicle. I was doing this, I showed my brother, and he's like, "Why are you adding topping to a popsicle?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know. I just like the way it looks." So here I am doing the same thing that I did to make the other shapes. I just started with my basic outline, just straight lines of what I wanted it to look like, and now I am just using the same editing tool to just push and pull all of the lines to get them the way that I want. I like to zoom in really close to make sure that my curves are smooth, because your Cricut will cut out all of the weird jagged lines, and I don't like that. So I like that. That looks pretty good to me. Before I forget, I'm going to go over here to document properties and make sure that I have the scale set correctly so that when I upload this into Cricut Design Space, it is a workable size. Sometimes if I forget to do this and I upload it, things are really tiny or they're super huge, and I have to spend some time trying to figure out where everything is and putting it all back together. So it kind of threw off the size a little bit, but that's okay. I'm just gonna zoom in and continue along with my shapes. After I've been working for a little bit on a project, I like to just pull things apart and make sure they are still in their own separate layers before I move on, because sometimes with all of the duplicating, things can get thrown out of their layers or all mess up somehow, so I like to just check. Now I'm going to do the stick of the popsicle. So I'm going to take my base and duplicate it again into another layer, and then hide the base so we can continue working on this shape. So this is a separate shape, but I'm going to just add it right to the bottom. When I've got that shape done, I'm going to select both of them, go to Path, and select Union. And what that will do is add the two shapes together to make them one. I think that's it for shape, so let me unhide all of these. I'm going to change the color of the stick so we see that it's a different shape. There we go. And then I am going to put these all together again to see what we've got. Cute! That looks pretty good. Okay, so just save it and let's put it into Design Space. Alright, cool. So that looks great. The scale worked. It's a decent size, and you can make it as big or as little as you want. Just keep in mind that the smaller it is, the more difficult your Cricut is going to have cutting that out. So here we go. Here are pieces unstuck from the mat. Super cute! I just use a little bit of spray adhesive. I spray them all at once and then stick them together. When they're dry, I use hot glue and hot glue a toothpick to the back. And there you go! Let's put it in a cupcake. There you have it, quick and easy, your own custom cupcake topper. That's it, guys. I hope you had a lot of fun. I hope you learned something. I know it might look a little bit intimidating, but you're only using a couple tools in the program, and once you get it figured out, you are opening yourself up to a world of possibilities. So have some fun. It's okay. It's fake. Bye.